What happens when objects collide? Let's find out how momentum and energy work in elastic and inelastic collisions.
Whenever an object in motion comes into contact with another object, we can call this event a collision, and this concept applies to balls and pool table, just as it does to tiny molecules or huge celestial objects like asteroids and planets. As we just learned, in any collision there must be a conservation of linear momentum, but this can manifest itself in different ways, depending on the type of collision that is occurring. So let's go over this right is now. First, we will discuss elastic collisions. These resemble collisions between balls on pool table, where the objects involved remain separate after the collision occurs. With elastic collision, total kinetic energy will be conserved, as well as the total momentum of the system, so the objects will bounce off one another with no energy loss whatsoever as a result of the collision. We approximate collisions between atoms and molecules as being elastic when we refer to an ideal gas just the way we do with billiard balls. There are many other examples of collisions that aren't completely elastic, but we can treat them that way, like when a soccer player kicks a ball. Since the player's foot and the ball do indeed remain completely separate after the collision, we would refer to all of these scenarios as example of nearly elastic collisions, since some kinetic energy is lost to heat and sound in each case. Perfectly inelastic collisions are those in which two separate objects collide, after which they move together as one mass. Sometimes when celestial bodies collide, like two asteroids, the collision is inelastic, and they fuse together to form a larger body. In fact, this is how all planets begin to form, including the Earth, over the course of millions of such collisions. When we examine perfectly inelastic collisions, it is easy to analyze momentum because we can treat the two objects as single object after the collision, with a momentum equal to the sum of the two individual momenta. This is illustrated by the following expression where m1v1 plus m2v2 is equal to the sum of the masses times final velocity, which will depend on the magnitude and directions of the two initial velocities. This approach can also be used to mode 1 car collisions, whether the two cars were moving in the same direction or opposite directions. Adding the masses of the cars and combining the velocity vectors will tell us what will happen after the collision. We should note that during inelastic collisions like car crashes, total momentum is conserved, but total kinetic energy is not conserved. Much of the kinetic energy is converted into sound energy, which we hear as the sound of the car crash, as well as heat energy and the internal energy of the new system, which allows the bodies to deform as a result of the collision. That's why we call it an inelastic collision. An inelastic band always returns to its original condition after being stretched, but with an inelastic collision, things are very different before and after the collision. The amount of kinetic energy lost during an inelastic collision will depend largely on what the objects are and a variety of other factors. In reality, no collision is completely elastic or perfectly inelastic, but is somewhere in between, which we can simply label inelastic, implying that some kinetic energy is lost due to the collision, even if just a little bit, but we can usually approximate the collision as being one of the two extremes, which will simplify the math that must be done in order to make predictions about systems that end up being extremely accurate. So here we have the problem number 1. A 1 kilogram cart moving at 2 meters per second collides and sticks to a stationary 0.5 kilograms cart. Find their final velocity after the collision. First, we write the given. The mass 1 is equal to 1 kilogram. Velocity 1 is equal to 2 meters per second, and the mass 2 is 0.5 kilograms, and the velocity 2 is 0 meter per second. And the formula that will be used is m1v1 plus m2v2 is equal to m1 plus m2 times final velocity. And we just have to substitute the given. Mass 1 is equal to 1 kilogram, velocity 1, velocity sub 1 is 2 plus 0.5 times 0 is equal to 1 plus 0.5. 1 times 2 is 2 plus 0.5 is times 0 is 0, so this is 2. And for the right side, 1 plus 0.5 is 1.5, and we just have to derive the equation. Vf equals 2 divided by 1.5 equals 1.33 meters per second. And here is the problem number 2. A 2.0 kilogram cart moving at 3 meters per second collides and sticks to a 1 kilogram cart initially at rest. Find their final velocity after the collision. And this is the formula that we will be using. m1 v1 plus m2 v2 is equal to m1 plus m2 times final velocity. So here we just have to substitute. m1 is 2, v1 is 3, m2 is 1, v2 is 0, m1 is 2, m2 is 1. 2 times 3 is 6, and 1 times 0 is 0, so this equals to 6, and 2 plus 1 is 3, and here we just have to derive it. Vf is equals 6 divided by 3, and that is 2 meters per second. Final velocity is 2 meters per second. And here is the last problem. A 0.02 kilogram bullet is fired up 250 meters per second and embeds itself into a 2 kilogram wooden block at rest. Find their combined velocity right after impact. So here we just have to write the given. m1 is equal to 0.02 kilograms, the m2 is 2 kilograms, and the velocity 1 is 250 meters per second, and the v2 is 0. So this will be the formula that we will be using. m1 v1 plus m2 v2 is equal to quantity m1 plus m2 final velocity. So we just have to substitute 0.02 times 250 plus 2 times 0, and it is equal to 5. On the right side, 0.02 plus 2 is 2.02,
And we just have to derive this equation. Vf is equal to 5 over 2.02, or 5 divided by 2.02 is equal to 2.48 meters per second. The final velocity is 2.48 meters per second.